What's up, everyone, and happy Friday. Listen, we have made it to the end of a great week that it has been for me. I hope that it has been a great week for all of you. Um, and for today, right, I just kind of want to not give like a message, but in a way, but also just to talk a little bit just about me, and where I am at in life, because I feel like, on this journey that I am doing, posting these inspirational and motivational videos, like I want you guys to also, get to know me as well, and where I'm at, because I feel like that's important. In order for you guys to really connect with me, you guys have to really kind of get to know me. So this is what the video today is going to be about, and this is why I feel like God has really put this as a calling for me, because if anybody who does know me, right, knows that I like to talk. Like, I could talk on the phone for hours and hours and hours. And as of recently, when it comes to talking about God, listen, it's the same as that thing. Listen, I could talk about God for hours and hours and hours, and I don't get tired, because it's just, the way that God has been showing up and blessing me, and just all about the way that I have become to get to know Him, right, and also get to know myself. And for me, like, I was a person who I struggled a lot, as an adult, of course, as a kid too. But as kids, we don't really, of course, we don't really think about it too much, because why, we don't really have too much responsibility. But as an adult, for me, like, I've struggled a lot. I've lost everything like twice. I think it might have one, two. I'm gonna say about two and a half, three times, something like that. And I was in a place in my life where I didn't have a relationship with God, although I believed I didn't have a relationship. And so, there were some struggles that I went through in life, and I didn't, know how I was gonna get through. But by the grace of God and His mercy, like, He got me through. And still yet, it was just, for me, looking back on it, a lot of it had to do with the decisions that I was making, and just life, not understanding, how God worked, and, just becoming an adult and being on my own, not really fully understanding, just going through the motions of the things of life. And everything for me, though, has been a lesson. Like, I've never too much been a person who always kind of went through the same thing over and over and over again. Like, I've never been that person. Like, for me, I feel like I go through a situation, I kind of pretty much learned from it. And when I say I lost everything like two, three times, it wasn't because of the same reason. It was for different reasons or whatever. And again, it's just always like a lesson for me that God taught me, and I know that it built up my strength or whatever. And so that was, I really started getting on my feet, right, when I, moved here, where in the apartment that I stay in now, which has been about 7 years ago. And but I didn't start really building my relationship with God till about 3 years ago, even though I, really had my own space, and it was kind of, um mine, and it was really comfortable for me. It still was like a lot that I was still struggling with, of course. And it wasn't until 3 years ago, as I started building my relationship with God, is whenever my life completely started to change. And this is why whenever I talk to people now, I encourage them to start a relationship with God. If you are a person who is struggling, and I mean struggling, right? And you've been going through the same thing over and over again, and you're trying to do everything and nothing is working, it's because you are trying to do everything on your own and nothing with God. And we are not created to figure out everything on our own, as well as we are not created to do nothing without God, because God says that we can do nothing without Him. So therefore, this is the reason why a lot of us struggle unnecessarily, because we're trying to do life without God and also life on our own. And when I say it was, my life started to change 3 years ago, this was when the pandemic started. 2020 in March is when I began to build my relationship with God started. And it's also the same month that my life started to change. I went from not working like for some years to finally started working. Well, I was doing the little things under the table, but I started another babysitting job, and then that led me to, have another job. And it was just so many things that actually started to look a little bit more stable than they have ever looked, with me being an adult. And that's why anybody who has been around me knows, like, where I am now is all the result of from the time I started my relationship with God. Everything has like changed, and it has changed slowly, but I know it's the pace that God is ordained for it to change at. And I have been having so many different encounters from God, so many different blessings from God, and it's just amazing. Like, God never ceases to amaze me. So on this journey, like, where, and again, to where I am now, like, I'm so blessed and so thankful, and I hold so much gratitude, and I give it all to God, because if it wouldn't have been for him, then there is no way I would be where I am right now today, and there is no way my mindset mentally I would be where I am, and there's no way that he would be able to do what it is that he's doing inside of me. Because listen, it is so amazing. It's an encounter that I had with God. I think it was Mother's Day morning when I was asleep, and he hasn't, confirmed it for me to talk about it yet. But I'm so ready to just talk about the encounter that I had with God. It was sacred. It was God. Whew, it was everything to me. And so I feel like the main message that I just want to tell people is just wake up with a purpose. Like, because when you begin to wake up with a purpose, then you begin to see that you begin to, feel better in some type of ways about your life and the direction that it has been compared to the direction that is going, in that moment. And as well as just feeling good, knowing that you are doing something, right? Something with some meaning, right? Something that's going to help you and lead you into the right direction, and just overall allow you to step into what it is that God has for you. And whenever we choose to just do life, just to go on with the flow, just winging it, like, that's not really waking up with a full purpose. And one purpose that you should have each and every day waking up is to serve God, right? Just ask God, like, how can I serve you today? Like, how can I be of help, to you and your kingdom today? Because with asking God these simple questions, right, he will guide you onto what it is that you can do, and as well as finding your purpose. And when you begin to not only find your purpose, but find your calling and tap into that calling and everything God has for you, that's when God does miracles. That's when God begins to blow your mind. This is when God begins to, be able to do what it is that he has been trying to do inside of you all this time, right? But because now you have his attention, right? Now he is able to give you everything that he has for you, and knowing that you will receive it with the open arms and the open heart, because you understand who he is, and you're starting to understand what it is that you are supposed to do. So when you begin to understand what it is that you are supposed to do, then you begin to understand slowly but surely who it is that you are, because God is not going to give us everything, at one time, right? He's going to give us bits and pieces. And how I like to say is like puzzle pieces. Like, he's going to give us a puzzle piece, maybe 2 or 3 puzzle pieces at a time. But after a while, at the end of it all, right, it's going to form the big picture of exactly who it is that you are, and just the amazing life that you are going to have. And so I'm just so grateful. I'm so thankful. Like, I can't even really explain fully of how I feel, when it comes to God, but I feel so good. And this is the best I've ever felt ever in my life, in my entire life. This is the best that I have ever felt, because I not only have a purpose, but I also have a calling. I'm walking in my calling, and I'm also able to tap into the spiritual gifts that God has given me. And because these things are taking place right now, God is about to blow my mind. He is about to blow my mind. And like I've said in some of my videos, like, it's just the things that he's shown me, right? The things that I've seen. The fact that I now have dreamlike visions, you know what I'm saying, while being awake. Like, these type of things are what's taking place in my life right now. And I know it's only because I made the best decision of my life, which is to start building a relationship with God. So this is why I encourage you, as well as I would encourage anybody that I talk to personally. Like, if you find yourself wherever you are and not knowing, not understanding, just struggling in a hard place, in a storm, whatever it is that you are currently going through and facing, I need you to get with God. No matter how small the step is, it can be a prayer, it can be watching a sermon, it can be talking to somebody who you know is more spiritual, just anything to kind of help guide you to start working on your own relationship with God, because this is when you will be able to find out your purpose and be able to wake up every day with purpose. Wake up every day pursuing purpose. Wake up every day pursuing God. And the more you do this, the more He will reveal to you, and the better your life will become, and the more you will become of the person that God has created and ordained for you to be. Listen, I know this video was long, but I just felt like God on my heart. Like, I just really wanted to talk. Like, I just really wanted to give some encouragement to anybody who has just been struggling and just not knowing, feeling like there is no way out, just seeing complete darkness, don't even see the light. Listen, there is light at every tunnel. You know, there is a rainbow after every storm. You just have to keep going. And knowing that although things may not look like they're going to get better, they are going to get better, because God does not want to harm you. His scripture says that He has a plan for you, and His plan is to give you a purpose, not to harm you, but a future and a hope. Like, He wants you to have all these things. God wants it for you more than you want it for yourself. So listen, just pick yourself up and start to go to tackle on every day, knowing that there is something special about you, that God has created you for a purpose, and anything that you're going through is for a purpose. It's for your own good, because God will cause all things to work together for our good. So with that being said, that listen, waking up with a purpose, waking up pursuing purpose should now be a goal, as well as waking up every day pursuing God. So listen, I hope that this message has helped inspire, touch, bless anyone and everyone who it has reached. And as always, you guys, let's be motivated, but most importantly, let's stay inspired.